I say, v'hinei im hanal yuvon. With what we learned above, we can understand inyan Shabbos Shabboson. What is the idea of Shabbos Shabboson? What is the idea of Shabbos Shabboson? By explaining what happens at Yom Kippur, that we reach into the level of Seviv Kol Almim. So every Shabbos is basically the Aliyah from the week. And on Yom Kippur, we have the Aliyah of all the Shabboses of the year, and they go up on Yom Kippur. And that is the idea why we call it, it's the Shabbos, the Shabbos of the other Shabboses. That is like what is written about. The pasuk says, Oilas Shabbos b'Shabbatoi, that the Aliyah of Shabbos in every Shabbos, that every Shabbos there is an Aliyah. Shabbos legabe sheishis miyamaisa, who Aliyah soilum is just like Shabbos, relative to the 6 days of action, the 6 days of the week, is the time Aliyah soilum is the world gets elevated to a higher madrega. Shemis'alin ma'oid naila, they get up on a very high madrega, the sheishis miyamaisa. Shabbos in Legabi Shabbos. Likewise, it's also the Shabbos of the Shabbos is relative to Shabbos. Shahu Bechinas HaShabbos, that is the level of Shabbos. Shel Kol HaShana, Shel Shabbos Shel Kol HaShana. That becomes the Shabbos, the elevation of all the Shabboses of all the year. That is the same level of Kodesh HaKadoshim. Yom Kippur, we go into the Kodesh HaKadoshim. That is Yom Kippur, is Kodesh HaKadoshim. Regular Shabbos is Kodesh, but comes to Yom Kippur, it's Kodesh HaKadoshim. Ki Shabbos Nikra Kodesh. Shabbos is referred to as Kodesh. Avol Yom HaKippurim. But on Yom Kippur, Nichnas HaKoyin Godel, the Kodesh HaKadoshim. Over there, he goes into the Kodesh HaKadoshim. The Holy of Holies, Shu Mokoir Kol B'chinas HaKadoshim. That is the source for all the Kadoshim. It's the Kodesh for the Kadoshim. That is the Kodesh for all the Shabboses, for all the Kodshim, all the Shabboses. They come from Yom Kippur. Vush Limu the Kulu, quoting from the Zohar, that is the wholesomeness of all of them. Umemale Kol Shimon Kinal, and that fills all the names, meaning all the Pagamim, all the things that need to be filled. Behind. So what is this level of Kodesh HaKadoshim? That's the Bechinas of Yud Gimel Midas Harachamim. That is the level of the 13 attributes of mercy, Hamizgalim B'Yom HaKippurim, that come revealed on Yom Kippur. That's the level of Kodesh HaKadoshim, the level of Shabbos Shabboson, is the 13 attributes of mercy. Shehein El Yonis Ma'oid, they are very high. Umehem L'koir HaSlicha V'Abechila Kenoida, and from them is the source, from the level of Yud Gimel Midas Harachamim, that's the source for forgiving and Hashem's Slicha, as known. That is the Yud Gimel Harachamim. Now the Rebbe brings out in this pasuk. This is the pasuk in Parshas Emer. In Parshas Emer, the pasuk says, Shabbos, Shabbosin hu. It says in a masculine, Loshen Dechar, Zohar. Shabbos, Shabbosin he. That's one change between the way the pasuk is in Parshas Emer, in which it says who, and the pasuk in Parshas Acharei, over there it says he. There's another chilek. V'gam kesiv, also over here it says the inisem bitisha, that you shall afflict on the 9th. That's what it says in the Parshas Emer. Ube Parshas Acharei kesiv, but in Acharei over there it doesn't say anything about Tisha. It says he. First of all, it says he, which is the Shoin Nukva, which is a feminine language, not who but he. And also v'lo nizkar b'tisha elo v'nisem stam. Over there, the pasuk just says you should afflict. It doesn't say b'tisha. So these are the two changes between the way the pasuk says in Parshas Emor and the way the pasuk is written in the portion of Achrei. Over here it says who, and it says v'nisem b'tisha. Over there it says he, and it doesn't say anything about Tisha. It just says v'nisem stam. Over there the pasuk just says that on that day, Shabbos Shabbosim lachem v'nisem snafshei seichem chukas olam. Doesn't say anything about Tisha. So the Rebbe says, well, these two things, these two changes are really connected one to another. But the idea is Hine that they're handling one another. Kipirush hu loshon dechar. When we say Shabbos and who he in a feminine, that is referring to the level of the Yid. Hainu sheYisrael heim b'madregas dechar. That means that the Yidden are in the level of masculine. When the Yidden are the level of a male, which a male is mashpia, the heima mashpiyim mamshichim gilu haorez ubekoichim, which means they that flow and the level that they reached to the level of Yom Kippur, the high level, they are the mashpiyim and draw down through their work, through their koyach, through their energy. Similar to what he mentioned earlier, be Pirush, it just says base pay, or it has a yud over there after. No,
no pay.
No yud, right? It just says bepad.
Yes, no yud.
There is a yud?
No.
Okay, so but it means the Pirush. It's without the yud. So I explained before in the Pirush of Kedosh Yisrael, La Hashem Reishis Tvosa. So he says that Yisrael is mamshich through their being Kedosh Yisrael to the Reishis Tvosa. Reishis Tvosa is the union of Torah. He was talking about that they're mamshich into the level of Torah. She Yisrael heim roish umoker leTorah. They're Reishis Tvosa. They become the head of Torah, and if they became the mashpia, they bring down the level of kedusha of the Kedosh Yisrael into Torah. We quoted before the pasuk vasisem oisam vasisem atem, that you make them, that you make of the Torah mitzvahs by being mamshich, the higher level in them. Behainu. So that happens, the loshon dechar, when Yidden at that level of Kodesh Yisrael, that is accomplished through v'nisem nafshesechem b'tisha. Basically, when there is the input and the work of the Yid, so that he becomes the head, he becomes the mashpia, then we have the level of who, and that is through v'nisem nafshesechem b'tisha. So what does it mean in Nisem es nafshechem b'tisha is going to translate? It doesn't say the Nisem es nafshechem b'tishiyah in the night, but it says b'tisha. It basically means that you have to afflict yourself in the 9, meaning to let go of the 9 negative emotions, which is the spheres, not including the spheres of Malchus here, but he's talking about the 9 negative emotions in order to let go of all the negativity and you work it out yourself. In all the Tisha, if you do that and you're in the level of who and you're the level of masculine, so then you actually reach a higher level. Who through the Tisha, through the 9. And basically it means that when you struggle and you do it with your own koiches, then you reach a higher level, like we say, the difference between Isha Kisazriya, as we bring down, in Chassidus will bring it down soon, that when it's Isha Kisazriya, which means a makabel, versus, where the person struggles, then you let the Zohar, there's a much higher level, rather when Ishmazriya, which means if it comes from the Eibishter, it doesn't come through your work, then it's not a success. Let's look inside. Pirush B'Tisha, what does it mean in Nisman and Hashechem on the 9th? You should have said on the 9th day, not with 9. That is referring to in Nisim Nashechem B'Tisha with your 9 emotions. Shakulam Yiyu B'Chinas Iskafia V'Izhabcha. They should all be in the level of subdue and turn it around. V'lochein mitzvah li'isanis b'chol hates yom. There is a mitzvah to fast in all of the 9 days. Some people fast during the days that lead up, on Rosh Hashanah. There's some idea in Seres Mitzvah, but in this concept, we're talking about the fasting in a spiritual level. Fasting means to get rid of your materialism, as he's going to explain what the fasting here means. We're not necessarily talking about actual fasting, but there's a mitzvah to fast in all the 9 days, which means you should afflict yourself in 9 days, which means in all the 9 levels, all the 9 midas, Shem Keneged Tes Midas Ki Yedua. These 9 days that lead up to Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur is the 10th. But to lead up to Yom Kippur, you fast in 9 days, which means you work with all your 9 midas. That's the Isha Mazras Tchila, when the work starts with the person. V'hu Inyan Hanisira, that is the concept. When you're saying that you're fasting in the 9 days, that is the idea of Nisira. What is the Nisira? Shekol Yom Ninsar Mida Achas. Every day you are relinquishing, you're closing off one Mida. Every day of the 9 days, you get rid of one negativity. He explains. Pirush Nisira. What does it mean Nisira? Hainu Lahafri, to close up and to separate. Midos Hanefesh Alikis V'Hanefesh Abamis, to separate the measures, the emotional, the godly soul from the animal soul. Shaloi Tiyano Dvukis V'Nimshoches Achar Midos Hanefesh Abamis, so that the godly soul should not connect and extend and follow after the emotional nefesh habahamis. The sira means lock them up, separate them, put them away. And this is the idea, zo inyan hatainis. And this is the idea of tainis. Tainis is the separation. Why? Ki hamozein v'hasoiva, the food and satisfaction. Mechaber hanefesh habahamis im hanefesh halikis. That connects the animal soul to the godly soul. The pasuk says, "Vayishman Yeshurun vayiva." When Yeshurun, when the Yidden, when they become fat, they kick. Shamanto visochulu. As the pasuk says, you become fat and thick, and then you forget about Hashem. You reject. That comes when you are involved with food, which makes you fat, and therefore you get to the level of bayivot, rejecting, kicking away. Mashenkin hatainis, as opposed to when you fast. Machlish koya hanefesh habahamis. That weakens the power of the animal soul, and therefore v'yovoli de'achnoah, and you come to being subdued, ulehipored, and to separate yourself, mimidos nefesh habahamis, from the nefesh habahamis. And through this, when a person separates himself, that the nefesh habahamis separates from the nefesh halikis, like that way you also arouse above, that the strictness, the stringency, the midas hadin should be locked away, and should only be left good kindness. And further, then later, next step, also the gevuris become sweet. It says with a vav ktsasoi or ktsas.
Tassoy.
Ktsasoi with a vav, right? Ktsas,
It says Kuf Tzadik Taf Vav.
Yeah. Okay. Ktsas means that. That's one idea of fasting. Fasting, to explaining the Tisha L'Chodesh, what does it mean to fast with the 9 days, meaning to fast with the 9 midas. So one of the accomplishments of it is to weaken the nefesh habahamis. And further, the idea of a fast is shehu meratze, that appeases. It appeases. It is called a day of appeasement. Why is the fast meratze? That it's dafka through the tiniest nimshach ha'ora milmayla lamata, you draw down the ray from above to below. Generally, food is elevation. That's elevating the energy from below to bring it up higher. The food enters the stomach, and it's purified over there, sorted out, it turns into blood. And then it becomes, until it becomes an energy for the brain. Everything is elevation from below to above. And what is this corresponding above? That is the level of sorting out and elevating the sparks from below to above as known. So it's all a level of aliyah, elevation. But a fast when you're not eating anything, so then how do you get energies? Then the way the energy expands works the other way around. It goes from above to below. That the brain itself gives the flow of energy to all the limbs, the milo lamato, from above to below. So this way it works by the person. It doesn't bring up the food to bring it up, but it actually comes from above, from the brain down. So the gamla mile is also above, arouses through this revelation of the light and energy from above to below. You come from the level of the 13 attributes of mercy. They're the source of life. It's the wholesomeness of everything. And it fills all the names, everything. Yom HaKippurim, who is Galus, Raivin, the Chol Raiva. Yom Kippur, they fill, is the revelation of the Ratzin of all Ritzonis, which is this highest level of the Gimel Midas Sarach. So now we know what the fasting is. So we're saying you have to fast. Basically, the person works b'koyach atzma. It's who, and there's also mamshech m'mayla. So the difference is sometimes Yidden on this high level they accomplish that, or it just comes milmayla. Hine. Yisrael hein b'mayla elyoina. When the Yidden on the high level is v'nisem v'tisha b'chines anal, that they afflict themselves in this 9 levels shebenefesh. What it does, shekulam yifredu memidas hagash with nefesh abahamis, that they should all separate themselves from the physical attributes, traits of the nefesh abahamis. Azai bechinas Shabbos Shabbos ramizgal b'yom kippurim. So then, when the level of Shabbos Shabbos Yud Gimel Sarachamim that come on Yom Kippur, Nikra, then it's called Shabbos Shabbos Hu. It's called Shabbos Hu. Loshoin Dechar. That's a Loshoin feminist because it came through their work. As opposed when they don't do tshuva, then it doesn't come from such that. So they don't have the Nisan B'Tisha like in the pasuk of Acharei, where it doesn't say over there Nisan B'Tisha. But still, they get milmayla. They didn't do it through. It still comes from Hashem gives them the level of Shabbos Shabbos. That's why Nemar over there it says Shabbos Shabbos and he Loshen Nekeva. The Parshas Acharei it's not B'Tisha, so it says Shabbos Shabbos and Loshen Nekeva. And this is al derech ish mazriya techilo yiledus nekeva. That's similar to the concept when the man is the one that is mazriya techilo, which means that the person is when it comes from Shemayim, comes from Hashem, it's not their tshuva, but Hashem gives them. Then you get a nekeva, which means you get a lesser level. And therefore, the Parsha is over there. It doesn't say Nisan B'Tisha, Nemar. That's over there. It says Shabbos Shabbos. He over there it says Bosan he because there's only a nekeva because it didn't come from the koyach. It didn't come through the Nisan B'Tisha. Okay, Nemar Shom. Also it says Chukah. This is an eternal statute. It's always minimally. You will always get the level milmaylo chukasol. Kibchina zu hibadai chukasol. This level, to get the level of Shabbos Shabbos and he, that is for sure an eternal statute. You'll always get Elo shekshe Yisrael and b'maylel yoino. But when the Yidden are on a higher level, liyos v'nisem b'tisha, to be the level of nisem b'tisha. So then is Nimshach Shabbos Shabbos and Hu. When you do the work, this is Tisha, then it's a Hu. Al derech Isha Mazras Tchile the Zocher, similar to when the woman, when there comes the person B'Koyach Atzmai, works at it, Tisha, Nisim Tisha, then you give her Zocher. Hainu Shos Nimshach Hagilu Memadregel Yen Yeser. Then it comes from a higher level. Zod Iksiv. And also, there's another difference within the parsha itself. In the pasuk, in the parshas Acharei, it says v'chiper ala kodesh in the beginning. It says you atone for the holiness, but u'b'seifa parsha in Acharei ksiv it says v'chiper es migdash hakodesh, not kodesh but migdash hakodesh. Allah Kodesh is the higher level. When you have the level of who, you can even atone for the Kodesh for the level of Chokhmah. But in the end, if it's he, then it's only Migdash HaKodesh, that which becomes holy from the holy. Zeu Keneged Beis HaMadreg is the Shabbos Shabbosim. This corresponds to the two levels of Shabbos Shabbosim. Who? Of Shabbos and who? And Shabbos Shabbosim he. The Hainu, that is. Shek Shamshocha Bechinas who. Loshen Dechar, when the Hamshocha is in a way of a male, masculine. As I koyach Hamshocha zu yofel chapir gamal God come shebekodesh atzma. Then, when you have the Dechar, then the power of that Hamshocha can atone also for the blemishes that are in Kodesh. Kipur ala Kodesh, shu chochma lo mamash, which is like chochma lo. Avol kshamshocha b'chinas hi. Eina mechaperes alam gam. B'chinas he, when it's only he, that it doesn't atone on the pagam should negate kam yochel b'chinas kodesh atzmei. The pagam that touches kodesh atzmei should chochma lo, which is chochma lo. Ki im, the only thing it can atone for is al migdash hakodesh. That is which becomes holy from the kodesh. So b'chinas bina hamakabelas b'chochma. That is the level of bina, which receives from the level of Chochmah. Okay, pretty interesting Mamer over here. And the next Mamer is actually a Kabbalah Mamer. You know, it's like a Biur Mamer, but we'll struggle through. Okay, so if you want to continue like that, okay, whatever. I'll do whatever you need to do. This works for you better, Zoom. Hello? If you want to do it in person, I'd prefer that, but whatever.
For me, it's working.
I can't hear you so well. Can you speak a little louder? Maybe I'll make it louder.
Better.
Oh, now it's better. Yeah?
Yeah, Zoom is working better for me.
It's a chlifa duchtayu. Before, you never wanted Zoom, and now you only want Zoom.
It just happened to be, so what I can do?
No problem. I'm just pointing it out. It's interesting. Okay. Have a great day. I'll catch up with you tomorrow, Mr.
Shem. Rabbi, I want to ask you a question.
Sure.
Yes. You put your check. That's what I told, right? For
what?
Yom Tov.
You asked me, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. And also, we talk about fixing toilets, right?
I had some yesterday, not such very good news yet. Yeah. We talked about it. I'm just informing you. Yeah, we did talk about that. But I have to see what the total. The one Torah that they took, it's kosher. But to make it like a perfect Torah is going to be expensive. I want to see, that's only one Torah. And I'm not going to do anything. I want to have the price for all the Torahs together, and then I'll discuss with you and make decisions what to do. But right now, he told me for the Torah, and maybe I can bargain him down. I don't know. What he did was he gave this Torah to a sofer to work on it himself. He called me yesterday, and he showed me a lot of pictures of it. So while the Torah is kosher, but a lot of the ink, because it's an old Torah, a lot of the middle of the letters are losing places. He says it's worth to fix it. I mean, it's his idea. He says, you fix it, it'll be like a brand new Torah. Says the Torah, once it's more than 60 years old, which is your Torah, so then you have to treat it, and they treat it with a powder that covers the Torah. You know what? Let's talk later. I want to run to shul. I gotta wake up Shmuley. I want to make don't forget today's Rosh Chodesh. I gotta run to shul. So we'll talk about it later. So let's figure out.
So we will talk.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.